Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. You know, the only constant in life is change, and by all means, there's a lot of changes going on that none of us really like. However, I'm subject to those changes as well, and I thought that if you can read this, can you see that?
Yes.
Right. So you can't spell challenge without change. And what I like about this is that I'm going to use my challenges to make positive changes. I know for some of us, there have been a whole lot of negatives, but let's take the adversity and not let this crisis go to waste and find the positive that we can. And look back on this time and say, wow, without blah, blah, I wouldn't be here. So this morning, we're going to start on our backs. Now, I know a few of you have knee issues. So a couple of things. Having blocks going forward is really helpful. And you can buy these at the dollar store, Winners, blah, blah. A belt. This is a proper yoga belt, but you know what? A man's leather belt, anything that's long that you can grasp works as well. And some kind of a cushion or rolled up blanket is always helpful. But let's begin coming into, pardon me, we're not starting on our backs. We are starting in child's pose. Now, for people, again, with knee issues, if it is not comfortable to be on your knees, even if you were to pull your mat up or put something soft under your knees, if that doesn't work, then I want you to come onto your back, and we'll talk about that in a moment while we get everybody else set up. Now, proper child's pose, knees are together, flatten the tops of your feet. If you, and try this out, if you have your toes curled under, you'll find it's more pressure on your knees. So if you're able to, just slowly take your buttocks back towards your heels so that your toes are pointing backwards. So child's pose proper has the knees together. That can be uncomfortable for a lot of us. Therefore, a couple of things here. You can use a block or a cushion to rest your head if you're finding that there's too much pressure, or modify it. Take your knees as wide as your mat. Tops of your feet are still flat with your toes pointing backwards. And then again, slowly. I used to get cramps all the time in my feet when I did this. And then I just discovered that if I went real slow, I didn't get the cramps. So come on down. Lower your forehead to the floor. Whether your knees are together or apart, if you are able to bring your arms beside your body, some of us will be able to lower our heads to the floor, but use whatever you have to get into this restorative posture. Because this class is all about releasing the stress of the last year or two. Don't need any more, do we? And restoring our natural energy and joy. So while you're finding your comfortable place, and those people who have knee issues, if this is really bothering you, please do not suffer through this. Come on into lying on your back, bring the soles of your feet together, and then let your knees splay out. Try to bring your back into neutral, which means it's neither touching the ground, nor is it arcing up. So neutral, this is a term from Pilates. Just have your spine, your lumbar spine in a neutral position. So that's for those who are struggling with any knee issues. But coming back now, let's focus on the breathing, particularly when we're in our child's pose. You get to notice how the lungs expand towards the back of the body, so that 70% of lung expansion takes place in the back. So notice that. Also, in child's pose, We get to release tension and stress from the neck, from the shoulders, from the back. There's even a little bit of stretching here of the spinal muscles, particularly if your knees are together underneath your body. Many of us have seen babies in this position. I think when they're in their mummy's tummies, a lot of them are in this posture, hence the name child's pose or balasana. If you don't have a cushion or a block, you can also use your hands underneath your forehead. This pressure on the pineal gland in the center of your forehead, near your third eye, has a calming effect. As I have said many times, yoga sometimes is more about undoing than doing. Releasing, letting go, relaxing. Notice the movement in your back. Now, if you are in child's pose proper, with your knees together, I invite you to separate them. And we're going to stretch our arms out into extended child's pose. If you happen to be lying on your back in supine Baddha Konasana with your feet together and your knees and thighs splayed out to the side, raise your arms above your head in the cactus position. So that's like the football where your top of your arms go out sideways and then bend at the elbow, and you make that U shape or cactus arms. But if you're in child's pose, your knees are apart, your feet are together, continuing to breathe with your arms reaching out in front. So now stretching the shoulders, you can actually climb, walk your fingers forward, and then we're going to do one other little stretch here. Is that I want you to lay your elbows. So press your elbows into the ground here. Press your elbows. Your arms won't be straight. Press your elbows into the floor. You'll feel the stretch through your armpit and through your triceps. And then leave your elbows on the floor and then raise your forearms up over your head and bring your palms together in Anjali Mudra. Namaste. So your elbows stay on the ground, your forearms lifted up, and you've brought your palms together. And you can take them back. And again, now you're stretching again your triceps, stretching through the armpits, stretching through the upper back. And release the arms down. Bring your hands beside your head. Press yourself up. Now, if those people who were giving their knees a rest are on their back, can you put a cushion underneath your knees so that you can come up onto your knees? We're going to do the motion of threading the needle. So you're going to inhale your right arm up, reach and stretch up, exhale, thread it under the arm, reaching and stretching, and then inhale, bring it back up. Exhale. So we're twisting and awakening the core and the spine. Inhale, sweep it up. The warm-ups are important. And again, thread the needle. And now leave your arm underneath and release your shoulder, the side of your face onto your mat. And then tippy-toe the fingers of the left hand straight out in front. And again, breathing fully and deeply. Exhaling to release. Inhaling to restore. If you can, do most of your breathing, if not all of it, through your nose. unless you're plugged. Inhale and exhale. And then draw your left arm, the arm out in front, draw it back and press up. Place your right hand on the floor, and now we're going to take the left arm, sweep it up, exhale, thread it under, inhale, sweeping, exhale, thread the needle. And one more time, feel this stretch through your intercostal muscles and your rib cage. This is another way that we can expand our capacity for taking in more oxygen. And then releasing your shoulder and the side of your face with your left arm threaded under the right, and then tippy toe your fingers out in front. So you can really feel the stretch here on the left side through the left intercostals. Those are the muscles between the ribs. Everything contracts and shrinks if we don't stretch it, if we don't move it. That's why we feel stiff. That's why we get inflexible. And then we're a little more prone to injury at the worst, but low energy for sure. It's really important to exhale. You want to release the carbon dioxide. And then bring that right hand back and press up. Once again, just on all fours for a moment. Let's just do a couple cat-cows. These again are highly beneficial to flexing and stretching the muscles of the spine that, due to gravity, due to poor posture and compression, these guys, they really get crunched, especially the gelatinous discs between your vertebra. So on an exhale, round your spine, drop your tail, tuck your chin, pull your bellies in. And on an inhale, hollow out your lower back, lift your tail, lengthen through your neck. And on an exhale, I hope the tops of your feet are flat on the floor. You're rounding your spine up into cat, pulling your bellies in. And inhale, hollow out your lower back. Feel the awakening, the enlivening of your spine. One last time. Exhale, round your spine, pull your bellies in, tuck your chin. And inhale, hollow out your lower back. Lift your tail, lengthen through your neck and head. Come on back to neutral, and now come on down onto the floor. Now, setup's going to be important here. If you have a block, you're going to place it underneath your lower back. If you have a cushion, you're going to need something here. So gather something, fold it, a cushion in half, one of your end pillows. If you have the block, you're placing it underneath, somewhere between the sacrum and the low back. And I'm doing it horizontally. You can do it vertically. Sometimes we need to play around. I find both of them okay, but when we get to A, B part of this exercise, you're going to want it horizontally across your body. So find a comfortable spot here. You're in bridge pose, but you're slid something underneath the sacrum and the lower back. And now turn your palms up in the open and receiving position. Tilt your chin towards the notch in your neck. Make any adjustments you need to make. Don't lay or hold a posture that isn't working. You're worth it. Take the time to get it right. Putting a cushion underneath the sacrum or the lower back. Your legs are bent. Your feet are flat on the floor. And just let yourself be supported in Setu Bandhasana. Now you can really notice your belly rising in this posture as you breathe in, sinking as you breathe out. This supported posture with your palms facing up has a healing and harmonizing effect on your body. So again, adjust whatever you need to adjust. If something's not feeling right, take the time. Allowing the belly to expand as you breathe. Allowing your shoulder blades to feel grounded. The bottoms of your feet comfortably resting on the floor. All right, now, the next modification we're going to make, but I want you to check in. Are you able to straighten your right leg out in front without your lower back moving? Straightening your right leg, keeping lower back. So it shouldn't be arching up anymore. This is stretching the hip flexors. We use these when we sit down, stand up, climb stairs, walking. So your hip flexors in the front of your thigh, and then bring the leg back, bending the knee, and then straighten it again. Right leg, straighten the leg. You're only moving that leg. You're stretching your hip flexor. And bring the foot back. We'll do this just one more time. Right leg bent, and now right leg. Just slide your foot straight out in front. Doesn't matter if the foot doesn't need to be flexed or pointed. You can feel that stretch, can't you? In the front of your thigh. That's your hip flexor. All right, let's bring that one back. And let's see what's going on the left side. Slide your foot. So you might notice a difference from one side to the other. But you'll feel that stretch right into the hip. So the next couple of exercises are really about lubricating the hip joint. Draw the left foot back. You're sliding it on your heel. The foot is flat on the ground. And again, slide that left leg out. And slide the left heel and foot back in. And this will be the last time on the left side. Slide the leg out. And slide it back in. Yay. Alrighty. Now we're going to bring the arms up into cactus arms. So your top of your arm is pretty much perpendicular with your shoulder joint, and the other arms are then at a right angle, pointing up. Cactus arms, or the football end of the goalpost. Alrighty, so you're going to bring your right knee towards you. So you're lifting your foot off the floor. Your right knee comes towards you, and then you're going to extend the right leg out. This engages your core as it works the hip and the flexors. So we're working everything. Inhale, bring that right knee slowly back. Feel your abdominal core muscles. These are so important for posture. The knee is bent, and now extend the right leg out. Feel your core engaging. Do this slowly. Don't be in a hurry. Inhale. Bring that right knee in. And if you notice you're shaking, it's weak, well, then you're getting great benefits here because you're working muscles that have been ignored. And extend that right leg out again. Your left leg is still bent with the foot flat on the floor. And bring the knee back in. And then place that right foot back on the floor with the knee bent. Let's do the other side. Inhale, the left knee, bring it in. And extend on an exhale, the left leg straight out. Inhale, bring the knee in. Exhale, extend the left leg. Inhale, bring it in. Exhale. A lot more fun than crunches, huh? Well, I hope you're having more fun. And then bring that knee back in. And let's set that foot down and bring the arms back and carefully remove whatever you had underneath your sacrum. Bring it all down onto your mat. And then let's bring the knees up into the chest. Oh yeah, stretching that lower back. Maybe a little rocking from side to side. In fact, let's give it a good stretch out. Extend your left leg out in front. Keep your right knee bent. Interlock your fingers 2 inches below your knee. Let's mobilize the ankle joint here by pointing the foot, flexing, point, and flex. Rotate, make circles, lubricating the ankle joint. Again, it's so important to mobilize these important areas, especially weight-bearing areas like the ankle and the foot. Now, place your left hand on the outside of your right knee and draw it across your body. Extend your right arm out to the right side. Doesn't matter how far you go. Breathe into the place in the buttocks, the hip, the thigh, maybe the IT band, maybe all of them. Breathe into it as you gently exert some pressure with your left hand on top of the outside of your right knee. Breathe into it. We're spending a lot more time sitting in front of computers, looking at tablets. So naturally, some of these areas are going to feel tight, but trust. You are releasing all kinds of stress. A lot of emotional stuff lodges itself in the body. You're releasing that too. You don't need to name it. You don't need to know it. Just know that you're letting go. As long as you're feeling something. If you're not feeling anything, well, but don't do too much. Don't do too little. Have you been able to stretch a little more? You should be possibly over onto your left hip, really stretching through the glutes. These are the strongest muscles in the body, in the butt. And then bring that knee back to center. And let's just do a little bit of a hamstring stretch too, because we'll be stretching these again. So bring the knee towards you, straighten the leg. Please don't lock the knee. Reach your hands up towards your ankle as much as you can. Interlock your fingers around the ankle. Inhale, in place. Exhale, pull the leg towards you, and then lift your head off the ground and bring your forehead towards your knee. Maybe your chin to your shin, your nose to your knee, whatever. Practicing with awareness, respect, and compassion. Don't go beyond what your body is capable of in this moment. And then release the leg, slowly lowering it as you lengthen it. Again, we're working lower abs, hip flexor, quadriceps, low, slow, slow. Touchdown. Inhale, in place. Exhale. Draw your left knee up and interlock your fingers 2 inches below, and then mobilizing the left ankle by pointing and flexing the foot, and then begin to rotate it. Make sure you go in both directions. There are 33 joints in each foot for a total of 66 joints in the ankle and the foot. So this is, again, important to mobilize these. You lubricate them. Now, place your right hand on the outside of your left knee. Extend your left arm out to the left side, shoulder height, as you slowly draw the left knee across the body, rolling over onto your right hip, exerting whatever amount of pressure you can in order to stay safe, but release. Relax your foot. It doesn't have to do anything anymore. It's just going for the ride. We're focusing on the thigh, hip, butt, IT band. The iliotibial band goes from the tibia bone, which is part of your lower leg. And the ilium, of course, is your hip. So when they say the hip bone's connected to the knee bone, well, yeah, it is. But in this case, it's more of your lower leg or calf bone. So maintain some pressure. This is also releasing what we just did in bridge pose, releasing the lower back. Breathe. Lovely. And then slowly bring that knee back to center. On your back, bring the knee in towards your chest, and then reach towards your ankle as high up as you can. You're not locking your knee, but you're straightening the leg whatever amount you can. You're inhaling in place. Exhale, draw the knee towards your nose, your chin, your forehead, lifting your head off the floor, stretching hamstrings. Breathing. This is also excellent for getting into the descending colon. Great. Release that leg. Slowly lower it, really slow. Go as slow as you can. Lengthen it as you lower it. So you're reaching your thigh bone towards your foot and releasing. Great. Now shake out the backs of your legs. We're just going to do a couple more things here on our back. Now, this is an example where if you have a belt handy or you need one, let's see what happens first. We'll try without. We're going to do happy baby pose. Now, some people, you're going to stay on your back. You're bringing your knees actually towards your armpits. And then your lower half of your leg, ankle, should be directly over your knee. However, to get into this posture, you may need to lower your feet. Now, I like bringing my arms inside my legs. So see if you can take hold of your feet with your knees bent, but then can you straighten so you have a right angle between your upper leg and your lower leg, and you're grabbing the instep of your foot. You're grabbing the instep. So as I said, your arms can go outside, but I guess because I was taught inside, and then make sure that your thighs are outside of your torso. And then pull down. I actually think one of my friends who's in France right now, did she check in, Tech Guy? Is Noemi or France? Because I'm thinking about her right now. She's traveling, but we studied with the same teacher for a couple of decades, to whom I still bow. Yeah, France. Oh, bonjour, mesdemoiselles. How lovely. I think my friend Megan from Australia is also with us this morning, and I'm delighted to have everybody, believe me. Okay, so if you weren't able to grab your feet, you grabbed your ankles, or you put a strap around your feet. But this is an excellent posture. Again, it's a safe stretch for your hamstrings. And then bring your knees into your chest. Place your hands underneath the backs of your thighs, and let's rock up. Come on up. Now we're still going to be on our knees here. So once again, those of you who have knee issues, can you put a cushion under your knee? And the other thing is, if you're not able to, if this is too hard on your knees, and we're going to do both sides, you can come down again onto your back and take your knees out to the side, just listening to what I'm doing, because I don't know how your knees feel. So we're on our knees. You're going to bring right knee forward, and then I want you to take that leg out to the side. So you're externally rotating your femur bone, okay? Now, take your right hand and place it inside of your leg so you can actually put some pressure and stretch your adductor inner thigh muscle, all right? But we're really mobilizing that upper femur bone. And then bring the left arm up, bend at the elbow, and I just want you to take that hand between your shoulder blades. So I'll just turn a little bit sideways so you can see that, or maybe turn from the back, you can see that. All right, so establish this posture and just bend slightly to the right, lifting your left elbow up. So again, you're getting a fantastic stretch here. Laterally stretching the spine, stretching the inner thigh, mobilizing, opening up the hip. Because again, we don't really sit in chairs like this. We sit with our legs out in front. Breathe. And release your top arm, bring it down, bring the other leg forward and take it down. And let's take the other leg up, and maybe I'll just turn this way so you'll get a better view. So left leg up. And again, remember, if you keep your back, the knee that's on the floor, don't curl the toes under. That just puts a lot more pressure on your kneecap. Try to flatten your foot. And then take your left leg out to the side. Take your left arm inside the knee. Lengthen. Always remember to stay lifted up in the sternum. Take your right arm up in between the shoulder blades. Press that arm back. Lift the elbow up and breathe. And maybe add a little Buddha smile. But it didn't. I've never seen any teeth on Buddha. Must have had them. But that Buddha smile's just your little corners turned up. Breathing. Now remember, if you want to try Ujjayi breathing, the sound is you can feel your throat contracted. But you do this with your lips together. Alkalizes the body, known as victorious breath. Okay, let's bring that knee back, and then I'm going to turn sideways. And then now you can curl your toes under and lift your hips up, come into a soft down dog. And let's just walk the dog here. Bend one leg, straighten the other. Oh, feel that great stretch in the back of your legs, changing. Bending one leg, straightening the other. You might need to give your head a little shake to make sure you're not holding, and changing one more time. And last time, change. Great. Walk your feet towards your hands. Have your feet about hip width apart. Please let your head hang. Let your arms hang. Keep your knees soft. Let your torso rest on your thighs. This is an inversion. We've got our hearts above our heads, which means some of the more blood can drain into the area above the heart. Normally, of course, it's not. So only about 25% of the blood is going above the heart unless we invert. And then keeping the knees soft, really plant your feet into the floor. Slowly roll up one vertebra at a time. Keep your chin tucked into your chest. Let your arms hang. Your head will be the last thing to come up. Okay. So we're going to do our sun salutations, but we're just going to do half sun salutations. So now we're standing, okay? Now, in sun salutations, we want our feet to be, because they're not going to move, they're going to be one fist width apart, and the outsides of your feet are parallel with the outsides of your mat. This is really important. That means your toes will be closer together than your heels. So look down, have a look, outsides of feet parallel with outsides of mat. Lift your toes off the floor and feel your big toe mount, your baby toe mount. Some would say both corners of your heel. I like the idea of the center of your heel grounding down. So what you have is like the shape of an inverted pyramid. That reminds me of a joke. Somebody named their dog Egypt because it left brown pyramids wherever it went. Little brown pyramid. Oh, you have good. Okay, lower your toes down. Did France get that joke? France is actually France's name. She lives in France. She lives in Paris. Okay, so now engage your thigh muscles by lifting up on your kneecaps. We are going to review Tadasana. This is your perfect standing posture. Here's where you lift your sternum away from your pelvic floor. My goodness, space. Inhale your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale. Roll and squeeze your shoulder blades back, and then pull your arms down by your side by pulling your armpits down. Let your chin float horizontal, parallel to the floor. It's so funny when I tell people to stand up straight, they go, no. Not talking to you, tech guy. Yeah. Okay. So you're feeling so rooted and grounded, like the trunk of a strong old oak tree, through your legs, through the soles of your feet. And then your chin is floating level with the floor. Your eyes are fixed on an imaginary horizon. They can be open or closed. The crown of your head is floating up. And then if you turn your palms out, this externally rotates your arms, broadens your collarbones. So just so you get nice and open in your chest, then you can flip your hands back. And here we go. You're probably looking 10 pounds lighter and 2 or 3 inches taller. Nothing wrong with that, is it? Unless you're already 6'5". Okay, so half sun salutations. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, turn the palms out, exhale, softly bend your knees, float your torso onto your thighs. Let your fingertips tent on the floor, just outside of and in front of your toes. Now inhale, lift your hips up, shine your tailbone up, straighten your legs whatever amount you can, and please let go of your head. By the way, how do you like my haircut? I got a chicken farmer in Goderich gave me a haircut. Actually, the best haircut I've had in the whole time of COVID. Now drop your hips, coming back into your squat, lengthen your spine, shoulders back, inhale, sweep the arms up over to the side, overhead, exhale, turn the palms out, float your arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale, turn the palms out, exhale. Tense your fingers. Inhale. Lift your hips up. Let your head hang. No tension in your neck here. Feel the stretch in the backs of your legs. And exhale. As you bend your knees, drop your hips, come into the tuck. Your entire torso should be resting on your thighs. And then inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, coming up. And exhale, float your arms down, taking up lots of space. Inhale. Turn the palms out. Exhale. Fingertips tented on the floor. Inhale. Crown of your head floats down as your tailbone floats up. Exhale, bend your knees, keep your belly on your thighs. Now your chest is on your thighs. Shoulders back, lengthen spine. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, reaching up. Exhale, float your arms down. Let's do this one more time. Inhale. Turn the palms out, exhale, swan dive, fingertips tented on the floor. Inhale, lift your hips, let the crown of your head float down. And can you take your elbows here? Now, this is another example where when we're standing in forward bend, if your fingertips don't touch the floor, and if you really feel like, no, I don't want to grab my elbows, this is where you can, I've got 2 blocks here. As I said, you can acquire them at the dollar store. You can use the blocks, and then you can really stretch out the backs of your legs, feel a little supported, let your head hang, really relax. This lengthens and stretches your spine. Let the weight of your head feel like the weight on a plumb line. Just let it hang out. Again, please don't hyperextend the knees, but just feel that stretch. And now, bend your right leg. Place your right hand on your left instep. So right leg is bent, left leg is straight. Right hand on left instep. Inhale, sweep your left arm up. Reaching, stretching. Oh, this feels so good on the lower back, doesn't it? Exhale, float it down. Let's bend the left leg. Place your left hand on your right instep and then sweep the right arm up. Stretching out your shoulders, releasing tension from the lower back, giving a little massage to your abdominal organs. And because it's an inversion, extra blood supply goes to your face to nourish your skin. Now with your knees soft, one more time, let your head hang, let your arms hang. Knees are soft, slowly rolling up, one vertebra at a time. Let your head be the last thing to come up. Okay. Now we're going to do a little bit of a vinyasa. And if you need to have a sip of water, I do. I hope you're drinking lots of water or herbal teas. It's really important for flushing waste out of the body and just keeping everything lubricated. Alrighty, so in our vinyasa, we're going to start with horseman's pose. So I'm going to come up to the front of my mat. This is also what I call teeth brushing pose, because when I brush my teeth, rather than bending over like this to brush, and it depends on the height of your sink, it's become a habit. And that's really what life is about. If you have some good habits, as I said in a note, you'll find it easier to have a few bad ones and not have them harm you. So in horseman's pose, you start to engage quads, hams, butt, calves, everything. So it's like you're sitting in a chair. So sit back and then look down. I want you to see your big toes in front of your knees. Your weight is shifting into your heels. And then inhale the arms up. Now they can be shoulder height, or if you're able, take them a little higher, stretching the shoulders, stretching the back, but absolutely working butt, thighs, front and back, and calves. Now exhale, forward fold, forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up, tabletop your spine. Exhale, bend again, knees, so your hands are on the floor. You are going to step your left leg back. Now, when you step it back, can you step it back at least 4 feet? And can you check that the heel of your front right foot is creating a straight line through the arch of your back foot? Your back foot will be pointing slightly forward. Your front foot is exactly 90 degrees. Now, windmill your arms, your left arm forward, and let's come right up into warrior two. Okay, warrior two. Now, a couple of things here. Most of you know, but just as a reminder, everything wants to collapse. Our bodies want to collapse into our hips, our neck wants to collapse into our shoulders, and our legs want to collapse. But we get great value from strengthening these. So here's your cues here now. Look down at your front right foot. Make sure that your knee is tracking over your middle toes. That means you should be able to see your big toe inside of your knee. As I said, it wants to collapse. Keep pressing it out. That fires up this inner thigh adductor muscle. I think it's a sexy muscle in a bathing suit. Okay, then press into the outside of your back foot because that leg wants to collapse too. So pressing into the outside of the back foot fires up that adductor. Now, straighten the torso, lift up here at the sternum. Inhale, sweep the arms up to shoulder height. You can look behind you at your back arm, make sure it's somewhat level with your front arm, and then fix your gaze, soften your gaze. Drishti is the Sanskrit word, over your 3 middle fingers. So if you're not feeling your inner thighs firing, your adductor muscles, then your legs are probably collapsing and they might be shaking by now. Just breathe, breathe, breathe. Now lower your back arm down your back leg and reach the other arm up, stretching it up, lifting it up, coming up into exalted and peaceful warriors. Looking up, stretching up. Come back into warrior two, straighten your front leg and keep it straight. Now reach forward over your front toes. You're not reaching down, you're reaching forward, just forward. And then hinge. Let this be organic. Hinge, let that front arm fall inside your front leg. Top arm comes directly. Now the energy is up, so reach up, stretch up. I know you've seen pictures of people putting their hands on the floor. Beautiful. If you can, that's fine. But if you lose the integrity of the posture coming forward, not fine. So reach up, look up, stretch up. Inhale, bring the arms together, pivot on your feet so that you're now facing sideways on your mat. Bring your hands to your hips and slowly exhale, flat back. Bring your fingertips to the floor and let your head hang. Can you walk your hands back so that your fingertips are level with your toe tips? Prasarita Padottanasana. Standing wide leg forward bend. Relax your neck, relax your head. Aren't you glad we warmed up the hamstrings? Can you feel them stretching, lengthening, and releasing tension? Chairs were invented about 200 years ago, and they're probably the reason why a lot of people today are not walking well, have sore backs. Bring the hands forward, bring your hands onto your hips, come on up, and let's do this little vinyasa on the other side, but we'll start once again in horseman's pose, Utkatasana. So your feet are fairly close together, closer together than when we did our half sun salutations, but they're not touching. So pretend you're sitting down in a chair, the invisible chair, raise your arms forward, look down, see your toes, they're ahead of your knees, your weight is in your heels, and then bring the arms up as high as you're able, keeping the shoulders down, chest lifted, and breathe. Inhale, fold forward. Let your heads hang. Inhale, come halfway up. Tabletop your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Let your head hang. Now step your right leg back about 4 or 5 feet, depending on your height. 4 feet, probably good for most of us. If you don't have it far enough apart, it's difficult to really maximize the potential of the benefits for this posture. Okay, so your front foot again, your left foot is 90 degrees forward, your back foot is somewhere between 20 and 30 degrees forward, and you're gonna take your right hand and you're gonna windmill it forward, up and over. Beautiful. Makes me think of the CNE. If that ever comes back, holy cow. All righty. So again, looking at your back arm, because sometimes it's somewhere floating that's not really level with your shoulders. Lift up at your sternum. Look down at your front leg. Unless you can feel your adductors firing, if you're not sure, look down, see your big toe inside of your front knee so that your knee is tracking over your middle toes. Press into the outside of your back foot and fix your gaze over your middle fingers. Let that stretch of your arms originate from the center of your shoulders. In between your shoulder blades, actually, was what I intended to say. And then lower your back arm down your back leg. Reach the other arm straight up, reaching up, stretching up. Can you still feel your adductors firing, your inner thighs? I hope so. And come back into warrior two, and then straighten your front leg. Reach forward so your right hip is going back as you reach your left arm forward. When you can't reach any further, just let that arm organically fall inside of your front leg. Other arm comes up and you're looking up, reaching up, stretching up. So the energy is up, right up. Lovely. Inhale, come back into center. You are now officially a 5-pointed star. Okay, let's hinge from the hips. Bend from the tops of your legs. Tent your fingertips down below your face. We're going to lunge to the left. I'll do the mirror image with you. Lunge to the left. Nice stretch here for that inner adductor muscle that you've been working. Up and over to the other side. Of course, you're still being mindful. If you have knee issues, you may not be going too deep. If not, you're bringing your butt down towards your heel. One more time. Up and over. And then up and over to the other side. Walk your feet in together. Come on down onto your buttocks. We'll do one last important posture. This is one of the top 12 Hatha Yoga postures, Ardha Matsyendrasana. So I'm leaning from one side to pull the flesh out from underneath my sits bones and pulling out from the other side, sitting tall in Dandasana. So we'll do the easiest way of getting into this, which is, and again, I'll do the mirror image, so follow along here. Take your left foot, place it outside of your right knee. Flex the foot of the straight leg. Now, center your body with the bent leg, interlock your fingers 2 inches below, pull your torso towards your thigh. Now you can really feel your sits bones grinding down into the earth, and you can also feel your spine lengthening from tailbone right through the crown. Take your right arm, place it behind you. Inhale the left arm up. Oh, pardon me. I have to do the mirror image. So you're putting your left arm behind you. Your right arm comes up, right arm comes up. Exhale, twist and turn. So you're bringing your right elbow to your left knee. Boy, I hope I got this right. Inhale. On your inhale, lengthen. And on your exhale, can you twist just a little bit more? This is a major posture for releasing toxins, waste, impurities. It's one of the best massages for your abdominal internal organs. It's stimulating, it's releasing, it's bringing extra blood supply. So when we're in the twist and compression portion, that's where stuff gets squeezed out. So one more inhale to lengthen, exhale, maybe twist a little more. And let's release and counter twist to the other side. And then the fresh arterial blood rushes in. Let's do the other side. So again, I'm trying to do the mirror image. Right foot on the floor, bent leg beside the left knee. So you're bending your right leg, flexing the foot of the straight leg, interlock your fingers 2 inches below. Pull your torso up towards your thigh. Relax your shoulders down. Feel your core engaging here. Feel those strong latissimus dorsi muscles. These are the broad muscles in your back. And then place your right hand behind you to prop yourself up. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, can you bring the elbow to the outside? If it's not available, just wrap your arm around, pull that knee. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist and turn. So it's like wringing a face cloth. This posture shows up a lot because it has extreme benefits. A lot of disease starts in the digestive area. I have some really, I think I'm gonna have to start writing some short essays because I really want you to know and understand a lot more about the microbiome and dysbiosis. And I've been listening to some fascinating stuff with Deepak Chopra and Sadhguru, how when we live in an urban environment, some of us are missing about 30% of our microbiome. We can make up for it though, okay? And quercetin, if you haven't heard of it, I will be speaking to it more, but suffice to say, you'll get it in apples, leafy green vegetables, nuts and seeds. Oh, there's even some of it in dark chocolate and red wine. So cheers. Inhale, one more, reaching up. Exhale, slowly release, twist to the other side. Bring yourself now down onto your mats. If you have or need to put anything warm on, please do so. By the way, you can bring your knees up into your chest and just put your hands on your knees. You can make circles or rock from side to side. Make sure you're warm, and please don't skip Shavasana. Some people think, oh, no, I'm not going to bother. It's not important. I'm going to tell you something, everybody. It's never been more important now to tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. Our sympathetic nervous system is on overdrive. It's not that we feel like we're in a state of fight or flight. It's what's going on in our bodies. It's actually creating inflammatory conditions within your body. So I hope you didn't schedule anything too quickly after this class. If you can, spend at least 3, 4, 5 minutes in Shavasana, where bring your heels together, let your feet splay out, close your eyes, separate the biting surfaces of the teeth, relax the jaw. Please turn your palms up in the open and receiving position, taking your arms as far away as you need to allow your shoulders and your entire backside to rest, to be supported, to be held, and allow the parasympathetic nervous system to heal and harmonize. The body works so hard 24/7 to try and keep us healthy. And if we ignore it, abuse it, one day it presents a bill. And sometimes we can't afford to pay that bill and we can't find doctors to fix it, or it's just a long, slow crawl back to wellness. Doesn't have to be that way. Just this 1 hour of yoga a week sets the stage in motion for you to have a calm demeanor, more energy, and I'm wishing all of you joy. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.